brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear, start at will.
Start sequence is 2 then 1.
Check.
Start the right engine.
Starting right.
So the start switch goes to start, like always, and the fuel
Oil pressure.
control switch goes to run, pretty much all straight away. There's no need to wait for the N2 or the oil pressure, whatever, to rise. As soon as the start switch comes on, then you can flick the fuel control switch to run. Yeah, the right engine, yeah, here is turning. Amazing engines, you are like huge. They say it's the size of a 737 fuselage, so I'm not sure if this is true or not, but they are quite big. The GE engines are really big. Start the left engine.
Starting left.
And same thing, start switch on the left comes to start, which is self-explanatory.
Oil pressure.
And the fuel control switch to run. Because it's an auto start, the auto start function is on here. It's not like the 737 where you need to motor the engine a little bit and kind of wait for the N2 to reach a certain level and then bring the fuel in. Here it's all done electronically by the system, the EECs and all these things. So the fuel injection, if you wish, is kind of done automatically by the system. So that's why the fuel control switch comes on straight away, and then the system works itself out.
Set parking brakes.
Right, parking brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Oui, it's coming. Confirm good engine start, yeah. So I got 2 good starts, you can disconnect and blah blah blah, cool. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Still down here, okay.
Unlocking gear.
Right, so in the meantime, we'll check the flight controls.
Tow track disconnected, bypass pin removed.
So contrarily to the Airbus, the flight controls both move together. So forward, backwards, to the left, to the right, and then the radars. Center, full left, full right, center, roughly. I think there was a question yesterday on the channel about the flight controls. Why you verify is that the control column is kind of moving in all directions, is not being blocked or kind of stays stuck, for example, full right or anything, and that they return to center, basically the control return to center. Obviously you can't see the surfaces outside the aircraft move. In my company we don't really display the flight control page like that to see the controls move. So yeah, that's what FS2 crew does, but we don't do it. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
We'll actually wait until it's clear. Clear left.
Clear right.
Alright, we'll put the EFB display on this. Off we go. Right, so we'll come out. Let me zoom a little bit on this. We'll come out at Tango Echo 2.
The cabin is ready. Cabin crew, take your seats.
Yeah, Tango Echo 2, and then maybe on Romeo Tango 4, and then on Tango. So like always need quite a bit of thrust to get moving, whereas like 250 ton 777 would taxi with almost no power at all. Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete.
Checklist complete. Right, so here we are here on Romeo. I think calculated the performance from Tango 3, which is a bit of an intersection takeoff, so I'm not gonna taxi all the way down to the full length, just go to Tango 3, which is acceptable as long as obviously you calculated the performance for it. Runway entry procedure.
Check. Clear on the approach.
Hey, Purple 321, how you doing? I guess you're not flying too much either. Yeah.
Approaching 08 left. On runway 08 left.
Just realized looking at the clock it's not the right time, but it doesn't matter. Takeoff.
Check.
Thrust ref.
Thrust set. Check. $80 knots.
Hold.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Autopilot.
400 feet. Check.
Thrust ref.
Check.
VNAV speed.
Climb.
The uniform is actually okay. Actually, it's not too bad. But yeah, the trousers are quite comfortable, and then it's just a shirt, so it's not too bad. Alright, so we're gonna approach 3000 feet EGLL, so the auto flight system is gonna command basically bug up speed to start the acceleration. So as soon as we pass the flaps 5 speed and there's some sort of speed increase, then we can retract to the next flaps. Flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Speed check. Flaps 1.
Flaps up.
Speed check. Flaps up.
Transition altitude, altimeter standard. After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete.
Seatbelt sign auto.
Seatbelt signs auto.
So it's a little bit hazy today, but that's quite nice. Yeah, it's true. I mean, as we were discussing a little bit yesterday, the outlook is not very good indeed for the short to medium term. At least the short term outlook is not very good for aviation, for the job market in particular. Because even when things start to pick up again, I think it will take a little bit of time for the economy to catch up. So it's gonna be quite slow, at least in the short term. But yeah, as I say, I will try to remain positive. The moon is still up. but yeah, times are tough, and you know, they're starting to talk about in the industry in general, you know, that 747s and to a certain extent 380s might be retired earlier than
1,000
expected.
feet to level off.
So that's not so great, because that means there's gonna have to be some fleet restructuration and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, because I think that, as I was saying, it's gonna take a while, even if the situation kind of gets under control. I think it's gonna take a while for like the demand to kind of pick up again. Right, here's the channel already. Woohoo! So after that, somebody need to start looking at the arrival. There we go. No notes.
Left. Departure runway 09 right. Transition level flight level 70. Surface wind 130. 4 knots varying between 060 and 190 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers or more, no cloud detected. Temperature +14. Dew point +2. QNH 1023. Acknowledge a receipt of information Foxtrot and report aircraft type and current QNH on first contact with Heathrow. Heathrow information Foxtrot. Time 1050. Automatic. Arrival runway 09 left. Departure runway 09 right.
Okay, so 09 left. So ILS 09 left. No. See, I got tricked there. The FMC won't cycle to the arrival automatically until you've been halfway through the flight, otherwise you've flown 400 miles, which we've not done yet. So ILS 09 left. It's gonna be via Begin, I believe. It's the Alice 1 hotel. Okay, so we're gonna go from Alesso to Rodno to Edvax at 180, Tiger, Lima Lima Echo 01, and then to Biggin Hill, 7,702.20 knots. That's correct, and then there's a transition. Now we'll look at on the approach chart. Yeah, we go to 26 Begin, that's it there, then to 29, 6,000 or above, Goodwood 35, 3,500 or above, that's all correct, and then the center fix 3,000, 2,500 all the way to the runway. In case of a missed approach, it's a left turn and climb 3,000 feet, that's all in there, it's all correct. Good. 8 tons on arrival, and zero fuel weight was 235, so that's gonna be 250, 243, 253, I'm gonna go off right there, 243.5, let's say. That's below the max landing, because 253 would have been above 47. Minima chart. Right, so that said, minima is 290. Shit. Oh, excuse my French. And it wants to descend already. Whoa. Go for auto brakes. 3 now do. QNH was 1023. We're gonna set flight level 70.
Descent checklist. Recall. Checked. Notes.
Checked.
Auto brake level 3. Landing data.
VRF is 147, minimums 290 feet. Set and checked.
VREF 147. Minimum 290 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Cool. Seatbelt sign on.
Seatbelt signs coming on.
Alright, concentrate on this. Oh, it wants already to reduce the speed to 200 knots. Amazing. Anyway, we're gonna cross Edvax at 180 exactly. That is good. I'm surprised it's not trying to first go back to 250 and then to 220, but and there's an FMC message which is probably drag required. Let's see how it works out. For the moment there's no speed limits as such, so weather is quite nice in London as well. Cool. Right, so we're gonna manage more or less 250 knots at the Lima Lima Echo 01, and then I'll keep the up speed because 220 knots at begin is more for like lighter aircraft, but well, lighter, smaller aircraft. But for a 777, 220 knots usually means you're gonna have to use at least flaps 1, so it's not great. Try to keep up speed or clean speed as long as possible, of course. Yeah, so that's gonna be 250 knots. Got full speed brakes at the moment. As soon as I retract the speed brakes, then the speed builds up again. Yeah, the tailwind doesn't help. That's true. Anyway, as I said, today was more to come and say hi than really to try to demonstrate anything special, or just to say I'm still around,
1,000 feet
kind
to
of
level off.
managing the channel as best as I can. So at flight level 100, the lights came on, or some of the lights. We would put all the lights on, but here F2 crew doesn't do that. Right, turning downwind now, which is good. And then it's at begin 29 that we need to be 6,000 feet above. So for the moment, because transition level is 7-0, then we keep standard and we fly 7-0, and then we'll start the descent and change the altimeter to the QNH. Right, so flying along 7,000 feet on flight level 70 on downwind, with London in the background there. You can see the Thames running along there. Very nice. Right, should be good. We would kind of do that with the dispatch. The dispatch on the ground kind of call ahead to try to find out the parking area. Above all, when you go to a place you don't go often, or that is as big as Heathrow, so you can kind of try to think about the taxi routes and all that stuff. So right, so 6,000 feet, set the QNH. Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
1023 set.
1, 0, 2, 3. Approach checklist complete.
Yeah, follow the greens is a good thing, isn't it? Alright, so I'm gonna try to fly the CDA as much as I can. Flaps 1.
Speed check flaps 1.
The next step is 3.5, but anyway, as I said, I'll try to do the CDA as much as I can. So CDA, continuous descent approach. So I'll try not to level off at all until, well, basically landing. Actually do some
Checked.
self-radar vectors and extend the center line from the CI. No, it's not giving me. Okay, so I'll do it from here. The track is 090, so that's correct, and then execute that. Flaps 5.
Speed check, flaps 5.
Go down to 2500.
Gear down.
No, no. Yeah, I said down to 25 and you understood gear down. I didn't want to do that. Doesn't matter. The gear down is gonna make a lot of noise. Purple 321, no worries. Flight level change is a little bit better. It's kind of giving you a bit more like hands-on. I do prefer than VNAV at the end. I do prefer to use flight level change. It's more basic, but it kind of helps with the descent and everything. Not sure what the simulator is doing here. It's maybe because the gear came down too early, but I didn't mean to get the gear down. That was the voice recognition. Anyway, the glide slope is captured. 3000 feet is the missed approach altitude. So as soon as the glide slope is captured, then we set the missed approach altitude in the altitude window, just in case there's a go around. Flaps 15.
Speed check, flaps 15.
So hopefully the aircraft is gonna stabilize a little bit now on the ILS.
2500.
Yeah, the gear helped a little bit, but as I said, I didn't really want to use it. I would have
Cabin crew,
maybe
take your seat.
used it if I was still a little bit high, because I was a tiny bit high, but I didn't want to use it straight away. So, but I think I said, oh, I'll go down to and saying go down. I understood like gear down. So yeah, that's the voice recognition with FS2 crew. Flaps 20.
Speed check, flaps 20.
The speed brake now. The gear is already down, but otherwise it will be a gear down. Flaps 20. The speed brake, and display the landing checklist, which FS2 crew will do later on. Flaps 30.
Speed check, flaps 30.
So we can play around, maintain 160 knots to 4 DME, and then come back to the VRF plus 5 after that. Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete.
That's almost 4 miles, so we can come back on the speed.
Approach stable.
1000.
Right, the motion comes in. Flight director.
Approaching 09 left.
Let's see how that goes with the frames.
400.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums.
Check.
Minimums.
Minimums.
Landing.
Checked.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes up. Reversers normal. $60 knots.
Manual braking.
Check.
Well, that was not too bad. That was not too bad at all. Well, yeah, the frames are really suffering. Alright, I'll try to maybe make this one on the right here. And then we said go to 548, I believe. Right, yeah, don't need to check really, there's no more traffic now. So here we are. London Heathrow. Yeah, they say it's like riding a bike, you never forget. No, you do after, I mean, this is obviously like on the simulator, but they do say after a while, and it's true, I mean, after a while you kind of lose your, all the little tricks, all the, what's the word? You know, when you're used to doing things and you can even do things with like your eyes closed, or you lose all the automatism, or if it's a word, yeah, you do lose all that. Right, so once again we'll put the EFB. You can follow along. Muscle memory, that's the word, thanks. Lights and doors.
Cabin crew disarm doors and cross-check.
Yeah, another push. Right, that will do. Anyway, that's a bit gimmicky. Right, so parking brake is set. APU is running. We'll
APU is coming on.
disarm the doors. which once again will be done by the crew. And doors are manual, so the engines can be cut off, and parking brake set, doors manual. Yeah. CBR sign can come off. Anyway, here we are, London Heathrow.